You know that common saying, cash is king? Well, let's think of a society where that's not the case. An economy in which physical money is not a thing anymore and everything is digital. And who controls this digital system? A government? Now, this may sound like something straight out of a dystopian novel or a sci-fi movie, but slowly it's becoming a reality. As of now, an economy can be categorized into three different sides: the white, the gray, and the black. The white economy is what the government can track and tax easily. Then there's the black economy. This is the shady, illegal side of things, like drugs, money laundering, and buying banned goods. The government spends millions of your money to actively track and shut this down. Then, in the middle, you've got the gray economy. This includes things like your garage sale, doing odd jobs for cash, a kid selling lemonade, things that aren't necessarily illegal, but are hard for the government to track and tax. For the government, it's way easier to go after the gray economy and tax the heck out of it compared to shutting down the black market. And since they can only squeeze so much from the white economy, going after the gray side for a new revenue stream seems like a smart move for them. So how can they do it? Getting rid of cash is the way to go. If everything is digital, then the gray economy becomes the white economy. There are benefits as well as drawbacks to a cashless society. Let's start with the advantages first. The biggest selling point of a cashless society is that it supposedly lowers the crime rate. A huge amount of cash circulating in an economy makes it easier for criminals to conduct their shady business. Getting rid of the cash reduces the anonymity and intractability of black markets and makes them rethink their operations. There will be no black money as every transfer will be recorded. Bribery of a certain level will vanish, as well as the ransom payments. It will also help the government to trace undocumented immigrants as they mostly deal in cash. Increased transparency in transactions helps reduce tax evasion. It becomes near impossible to hide your income, which makes taxation easier. It also helps to tax businesses that mostly deal in cash and avoid reporting the income to the government. Cashless systems are supported by newer generations because it's more convenient to carry just your phone for payments instead of carrying a wallet along with it. That means not worried about carrying enough cash or fumbling for change holding up the line just to get 9 cents out of your pocket. Businesses can easily accept transactions without worrying about having enough change, and customers don't have to worry about counting big cash in public. And robbers have no interest in looting a store with negligible cash on the premises. As the online system is responsible for calculating, counting errors can be avoided. All the transactions have evidence, so no one can deny getting the payment from you. Employees won't be able to scam the owner for keeping some money for themselves, which is a thing in small businesses. From the government's point of view, there is a cost of printing, storing, and transporting money, so a cashless system is a saving for the government. Banks won't have to maintain massive amounts of cash. It also fixes the issue of counterfeit banknotes. Governments also don't want you to hoard any cash, as it puts pressure on the financial system. If the money is invested in a business, it creates jobs and a flow of transactions in the economy. If it's in the bank, they can lend it out. But excessive cash sitting with you is not doing anyone any good. Let's now look at the other side of the picture. People against the idea of a total cashless society thinks it gives the government excessive control over people's lives, and the potential of them abusing their power is infinite. It's a scary thought for a lot of folks. It makes the government interfere in the domain of morality. They will decide what's right and what's wrong. If you do something that the government thinks is wrong, you're locked out of the financial system. No alternative payment method means no food, no fuel, no medicine, and so on. You are starved to death until you obey. You will only be able to purchase what they let you purchase if they let you purchase. A cashless society results in people becoming centrally controlled. There will be micro prizes and micro fines to make you do what they want you to do. If you don't, the fine will automatically be deducted from your online wallet. Repetitive fines can lock you out of the system. Imagine being told not to buy a cheese-fried chicken burger in the name of public health, or told to replace steak with vegetables, or denied a second beer, or not allowed to buy a donut because your doctor has advised against it. It will make 1984 look like a shame. This could go on and on. Imagine you are told to not go out twice a week to curb your spending habits and make them align with your income, which you shouldn't, but that's not the government's role after all. They can also prevent you from buying from certain businesses, or your donations to certain groups or charities they disapprove of, or a book they don't particularly like. A cashless society is prone to becoming a dictatorship. Remember when people's bank accounts were shut down in Canada when they helped truckers in a protest? What if you raise your voice against certain government policies or point out some corruption in a government organization? They can freeze your bank account and later deem it as an error while you lose your access to pay for food. You will be left on the kindness of others, which will also be rare in such a society. A cashless economy can also give the government authority over how much a particular item can be sold for. Also, things like an old watch or a piece of antique don't have a market price. It's supposed to be strictly between the buyer and the seller. You don't want the government putting a price tag on such items. Everyone talks about the separation of church and state, but no one bothers to talk about the separation of economy and state. You can be that person who says, "I don't do anything illegal," and have nothing to hide. But do you want your insurance company to see how often you eat out? Have you canceled your gym membership even though the doctor advised against it? What have you bought at the grocery store that represents your dietary choices? Are you giving out more tips than you should? Have you been entertaining more guests recently? And being penalized for all of this? As you can see, it's a pretty slippery slope. The idea of a cashless society is impractical in situations where cash is necessary. For example, bartenders rely heavily on tips, and so are the dancers. It's not convenient to make an online transaction for every little tip. A 12-year-old kid next door who mows your lawn for extra pocket money can't accept credit cards. Cash also saves the day in many other instances. For example, when your phone is stolen or lost. Also, if the service provider blocks your card due to some suspicious activity, or a glitch in the banking system and you are out for dinner with a beautiful date. Not to forget, cash seems to be very helpful during a global crisis, like a war. Financial inclusion is another thing to take into consideration. To go cashless, everyone must have a digital presence with a device, a bank account, and an internet connection. This leaves out many people, including those who can't afford a device, an internet connection, and so on, or the ones who are not tech-savvy. This results in financial inequality. Older generations will also struggle to shift to a new system. It also excludes children who are unbanked. Another thing to take into consideration is that all computing systems are prone to fraud and hacking, just like cash can be stolen. If everyone goes digital, then the ones managing it are empowered to decide the transaction fee. The banking sector is always keen on a cashless economy as it increases its user base, which results in higher profits. Cash also prevents binge buying. Consumer debt will become an even bigger problem as you're more likely to overspend with your cards compared to cash. Newer generations are more tech-savvy. They are intrigued by better and more convenient ways to pay for things, which is totally fine. You can choose to go paperless or have a chip installed in your arm to pay for things, but that should not take the choice away from others. This inclination to convenience is slowly making us head towards a cashless society. On the other hand, in recent years, we've seen a push for cryptocurrencies, NFTs, rare paintings, and so on. At the root of this lies the desire to hold something of value that is beyond the government's control. We will continue to see more and more options for store of wealth. Money is one of the most social things there is. If you control the transactions, you control your citizens. Cash is anonymous. You decide what you want to buy, and it gives you the privacy to spend what you see fit compared to a government-centralized digital system. As it said, a bird in hand is better than two in the bush. A cashless society is an Orwellian nightmare. If tyranny could be applied to transactions, it would be called a cashless society. What do you think of a cashless economy? Let us know your opinion by writing in the comment section down below. Please like, subscribe, and share this video.